Are we on, Bill?
We are, we're ready for you.
Good evening, Washington Courthouse. It is 7:33 p.m. On May 14th, 2025, time for our first regular meeting of May. At this time, I will offer the invocation, and Mr. Chrisman will lead us in the pledge. And if you would stand, I'd appreciate it. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening knowing that you are the giver of all things we have, be it personally, as a community, as a country. And we thank you for all those things. God, I particularly pray this evening for all those workers that we have in our community who do service to the community, who provide us with fire protection, who provide us with police protection. God, be with all those people as they carry out their job each day. And this evening, I thank you for the members of this council who come together to talk, to think, to vote. And God, we just pray that you be with us so we make decisions that are best for this community. Pray all these things in the name of your Son. Amen.
Please join me in the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call.
Okay, we have Chrisman,
here.
Hawk,
Here.
Johnson,
Here.
Schultz,
Here.
Blair,
Here.
Call,
Here.
Lynch.
Here. We have 3 sets of minutes, starting with April 23rd, 2025 minutes. Anybody see any problems there?
Little briefly, I didn't see anything, but I might
Well,
have missed
if
something.
there is nothing,
I will move that we accept these minutes as printed.
Second.
okay. Roll call.
Chrisman,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Call,
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes. Next, we have the special meeting that was April 28th. And I saw one thing that says at the beginning that I presided, but I didn't, Vice Chairman Steve Schultz.
Thank you.
I was not present. He voted to excuse me, which I appreciate.
Did-
But other than that, is there any other?
Well, this is, I don't mean to nitpick or anything, but it said it was a regular meeting at the beginning on those special meetings.
Okay.
At the end, same thing.
Special.
And then, I'm sorry, Kelly.
No, you're
I feel
good.
like I'm
It's
running
okay.
along.
No, go ahead. Nope.
At the top of the second page, it says Mr. Johnson and Mr. Hawk seconded, but I think it's supposed to say that I moved and Mr. Hawk seconded.
Yes, he
Got
did
it.
move on that one, you're right.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yep.
All right. There were a lot of meetings, Kelly.
Nope, you're good. It's okay.
That was a little confusing, there was only what, 4 of
That
us
one?
here. We had an
Okay.
amendment.
Somebody want to
I
make a
will
motion?
move that with those changes, that we accept it as the rest of it is printed.
Second.
That makes sense.
Okay, roll call.
Chrisman,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
I was absent, so I'll abstain.
Call,
I'll abstain as well.
Lynch.
Me too. Abstain.
Okay.
Okay, then we have the special council meeting on May 5th, 2025. Does anybody see any changes that need to be made?
For that one, I think. Yes.
Not to somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make that motion, that we, a motion that we accept it as printed.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Chrisman,
Yes.
Hawk, Johnson,
Yes.
Schultz, Blair, Call,
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes. Okay, thank you. There were a lot of things. Communication, Mr. Denon?
None.
Reports of council committees, we have economic strategies and cooperation. I think Mr. Schultz is in charge.
You know what, I think I was on this one.
You want to go ahead?
The City of Washington Courthouse Economic Strategies Incorporation met on Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025. The Economic Strategy Corporation meeting met in the City Chambers, 105 North Main Street on Wednesday, April the 23rd, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. Mr. Schultz presided, and those in attendance were Mr. Jim Chrisman, Councilmember Mr. Sylvan Hall, Councilmember Mr. Jim Blair, Councilmember Mr. Ted Hawks, Councilmember Mr. Dale Lynch, Council Chairperson, Mrs. Chelsea Baker, Economic Development Director, Mr. Joe Langley, Assistant Fire Chief, Mr. Mark Pitstick, City Attorney, Mr. Joseph Denon, City Manager. Number one, the committee received progress with industrial development. The committee noted current open projects. Number two, Mrs. Baker updated the committee on a recent site visit at the industrial park. Number three, the committee noted the status of various business development projects within the downtown area. The committee noted several business prospects. Number four, the committee noted the Department of Job and Family Services new workforce development office. Number five, Mrs. Baker advised the committee of the successful Easter egg hunt and sip and thrift event presented by the Main Street Committee. Mrs. Baker noted the upcoming summer vacation event to be held in June. Number six, the administration advised the committee that discussions continue regarding mural artwork for the downtown area. Mrs. Baker distributed a rendering of the Flora and Company mural to the committee. Number seven, Mrs. Baker noted that the business project by Mr. Penwell's class was a success. Number eight, the committee benefited from a report of commercial development. Number nine, the committee noted that the courthouse rentals celebrated their 40th year anniversary. Number 10, the committee noted the upcoming new professional workshop. Mrs. Baker noted the workshop goal was to target new professionals of all ages. Number 11, Mrs. Baker noted the housing workshop hosted by the Chamber of Commerce with local realtors and local developers. Number 12, Mrs. Baker noted the community health assessment. Number 13, the committee noted the June 10th groundbreaking event for Adina Fayette. Number 14, the committee noted the success of the community health fair. Respectfully submitted myself, Vice Chairperson, Economic Strategies Corporation Committee, Mrs. Kelly Ford, Recording Secretary.
Steve? Any questions, discussions?
I think I was there, actually. I might have come in like a little bit late, but I was there.
Yeah, I think you did. I think you came in late, but you were there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And the same for the next set of meetings. I mean, for the minutes, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
You can add that.
Add Mr.
Anything
Johnson
else?
to the list.
Someone want to make a motion to accept?
I'll move that we accept the minutes with the addendum that Mr. Johnson mentioned.
Second,
Roll call?
Chrisman?
yes.
Hawk?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Schultz?
Yes.
Blair?
Yes.
Call?
Yes.
Lynch?
Yes. Finance and personnel, another pink there, Mr.
Oh my God.
You're up.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Okay, if I fumble around, I have a different lens in my left eye since today, and it's
You want someone else to read it, they're good.
well, I'll see if I can stumble through it. It sounds
Okay.
too heavy.
Plus they put on this pink paper, it's gonna be hard to read to begin with.
Okay.
We're almost out of calls. We're gonna wait some more, yeah.
The Finance and Personnel Committee met in the City Council chambers of the North Main Street, 105 North Main Street on Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. I presided, those Mrs. Sylvia Call, Mr. Ted Hart, Mr. Dale Lynch, Number 4, the administration noted that contract negotiations for the police department concluded with a 3-year wage increase, $1.50 in year 1, $1 in year 2, and review in year 3. Number 5, the administration noted that contract negotiations for the fire department were upcoming. Number 6, the committee noted that Mrs. Hines had been hired for the open position at the income tax department. Number 7, the administration noted that applications were being taken for an open lab technician position at the wastewater treatment plant. The administration noted an open position at the street department. Number 9, the committee benefited from a review of the Central Ohio Health Care Consortium cost summary and PACE reports. The committee noted that the reports showed improvement in February and March after a deficit in January. Number 10, the committee noted several ordinances, recent building amendments, and trash handling services. The committee recommended that legislation be brought to council. Number 11, the committee discussed the fire code, ordinance regarding violations and establishing a local appeal process. The committee recommended the fire code ordinance be brought to council. Number 12, the committee discussed establishing contractor reporting requirements concerning the cost of water/sewer/stormwater line replacement. The committee recommended that the proposed legislation be sent to local contractors for review. Number 13, the committee recommended legislation be brought to council recommending contractor registration requirements. Number 14, the committee noted the proposed ordinance to expand the Joint Economic Development District in Jefferson Township to accommodate Amazon. The committee recommended legislation be brought to council. The committee recommended that special meeting be scheduled for Monday, April 28th and Monday, May 1st at 8 a.m. Number 15, the committee reviewed the proposed firework ordinance. The committee recommended that the firework ordinance be brought to council. Respectfully submitted by me, Chairperson, Finance and Personnel, Mrs. Kelly Ford, Recording Secretary.
Pretty good job.
You did good.
Not bad going on.
Yeah,
Not too bad.
very good. Any questions, discussion? Someone want to make a motion to accept?
I'll move that we accept the minutes as read.
But I was there on this one too.
Oh, that's right, with the addendum, Caleb being here.
Thank
Yep,
you, Kate.
sorry.
I'll second that. You're looking for a second.
Okay, roll call.
Chrisman,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Call,
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Denon, you are up, sir.
Oh, thank you. We talked earlier in the evening about preparations for Memorial Day and would like to express thanks to the employees of the cemetery, our folks out there. They've always done an excellent job. Chad's leadership has been very refreshing over the years, and we will be ready to go out there, and hopefully the weather cooperates. You also heard tonight Tim talk to you about some aspects of the fire department that you don't normally think of. In the past several years, we've done a lot more with citizen education and in particular safety education for younger folks. And we're been very pleased with that, and very happy about it. It's been a very rewarding activity for the fire department. May 18th, I would like to compliment the Rotary Club for partnering with the fire department for the military chow hall, and that is something that it's a great thing for the fire department, it's a great thing for the people that are benefited, and it's a lovely, most appropriate activity for the Rotary Club. 5 Points intersection, we've been doing increased traffic enforcement there. You've also noticed several digital speed signs a bit further out from the intersection. to remind people about their speed as they approach that area, but that is something that we focused on. You got a urban residential interface there, and that intersection carries a tremendous amount of traffic. So we have made progress there, and we're very happy with that. Legislation, you've got on third reading the license fees for door-to-door sales, where we're increasing the fees to a more reasonable level. It stayed at that $100 mark since the beginning of time, so you increase that. You got the vacant building ordinance on second reading. The downtown design review criteria, that's the projecting signage, and a few other little changes there. Substitution, that ordinance, which is, Mark could explain that to you much better than I could. The ordinance number 8 is actually rather important because that allows us to negotiate street lighting fees with other communities, which will make that a whole lot easier to deal with. And then you've got the 3 contracts for the police department. Would like to again compliment the folks of the police department, in particular Mr. Rummer, for his assistance with the whole matter. And we had a very nice conversation with the FOP, certainly not what you think of as a traditional employer union type of discussion. You've got the Ohio Public Works legislation, and you've got the new stuff. Trash haulers, which basically says you got to tarp your load. Most important part of that. You got the fire code, which actually, that just makes that local. That is something that the fire department rarely has to bring something to the point where they write a violation. In fact, standing here today, I really can't remember one in the past 20 years. But it gives a local appeal process, and quite honestly would make that just a bit easier for all involved. And then C is the issue that was actually brought up to us by a local contractor, of contractor registration requirements in the City of Washington Courthouse. I wrote a cover letter for the other piece of legislation that we talked about that dealt with water and sewer laterals, and we'll be sending that up to contractors shortly.
Very good. Any questions?
Oh, also, I forgot almost. We completed negotiations with the fire department. They were very nice, very nice group of people. Their negotiating group included almost half of the union members, which is a little bit interesting. But we got that done. Differently than police, it's 5% in year 1, 4% in year 2, and in year 3, it's 3.25%. But that, well, again, was a very nice discussion, and it went along, quite honestly, quite positively. Of course, there was, sometimes folks get the impression that some things have brought in more revenue than they have, like Honda, because you got to remember in the first 3 years, all of that construction funds stay with the township and Honda. And then after December 31st, because that's where the construction period has been defined to end, because we picked a date certain so you didn't have to argue about are they still building the thing or not, then it would be half of that revenue would be divided between the township and the city. So we do get paid an annual fee by the township for our work, and we get to that point, which is probably, my recollection, a little bit more than $134,000, less than $135,000. It'll be a lot last year's revenues for that. Anything else?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Kelly, I just noticed this, it's minor.
No, you're okay.
The one that Jim Crispin read, number 14, it says 2 meetings were Monday, April 28th and Monday, May 1st. I think it was May 5th.
Nathan, thank you.
if I'm
I
not
did them on
mistaken.
weekends.
I'll It said first, it's written first.
I thought maybe I just read it.
No, you're good.
And I'm sorry, I didn't
No,
catch that
you're
before.
good.
Mr. Sockman, you got anything this evening?
No, I'll have a more formal report at our next one. Next week we'll start, we'll have a busy week next week. We have, our state auditors will be in next week for 4 days. We're currently going through a gap audit right now. So it's, it'll pull reports and everything else, but we'll get through it. I don't anticipate any issues or anything, so it's that time of year.
Tax time's over anyway.
Yeah, and with the new people, it's just moved, we've already gotten everything through, so that's kind of nice. It actually moves pretty quick now, getting that revenue put into our account, so.
Great.
And Ron is kind of understating, that's a tremendous amount of work for them. GAAP, you're not necessarily required to do. There, you're accounting not only for the assets, but depreciation, and some other aspects to try to give you a fuller picture. Supposedly, some of the motivation for that is when that came along is that it would make bonding easier and banks would be more interested in that. And honestly, that's never been the case. The only thing I've ever seen a bank interested in with a bond is how you're going to pay it. In the GAAP audit report, they never had any interest in whatsoever. But that's a tremendous amount of work for Ron. And Ron, what the last audit, your first audit, that your rating? Remember what?
We got the state 4-star on that, so we just,
Yeah.
so, and we're anticipating, we don't have any problems there. It's just a lot of records pulling in for the finance department, because when you bring them in, here's what we want, and then here's a follow-up question, and then there's a follow-up to the follow-up question, and then here's a follow-up. And you're like, well, if you would've asked me 3 times, I would've got that all for you right there.
They ask for all that, then that leads to another question.
Yes, yes. But, like I said, last year was our first one there, but I went through it, I don't anticipate any issues.
Where are we at on the gap? Are we up to date, basically, the last couple months?
Everything's good, we've got, like I said, we should have our stuff back, our gap, which Joe said is good, because it takes a lot of our financials, and kind of lets us know, at the end of the day, what is our net, what did we
Yes.
make last year after everything went. And then the other ones come in, and they kind of make sure that, if there was amendments done to put money in accounts, like for instance, the playground account, did we do legislation, did we open that account, did we put that money in that account?
Do we set up a separate account for that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay,
We did.
good.
So that's what that's going to come, just
Okay.
to make sure that each account has those monies, and if it was expensed out, did it go to that particular?
And the money that came in, did it go right back to that? Yes, that's what they're gonna, the auditor's gonna look at that, I'm sure.
And the one thing that is confusing compared to a private entity, some of the things that counts as assets, they are indeed assets, but they're not marketable. Like Court Street's an asset of the city of Washington Courthouse, but it's not like you can ever turn that into, you can't sell it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you did have a report.
More than you thought.
It's just if anybody was stopping and needs something, and you see, Katie and Tina and myself kind of just, you'll know that, we're running back and forth, getting all the information we need.
Yeah. Okay.
And you're going through negotiations and all those.
How many months do they want you to pull backwards?
We go, it's a whole year.
The whole year?
Yeah,
Oh,
and then-
okay. I didn't know they did 6 months, 4 months, but they did the whole year. Okay, good. Well, keeps you honest.
Mr. Pitstick, you mowed any grass?
I'm mowing the grass. That's my report.
How many yards you mowed this year so far?
Oh my. I would say a couple hundred at least.
Yeah, is that right? And some over and over.
You may have done a bit of canoeing, but mowing's been
Canoeing, wow.
Okay, well, we have no local residents, taxpayers, so we'll move to legislation. The first one is ordinance number 3/2025, and it's tabled. I assume we don't have to do anything.
We don't.
Tabled, let's do it. So ordinance number 4/2025, third reading.
Chrisman,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Call,
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Ordinance number 4-2025, an ordinance amending codified ordinance section 114.04, license fees and term for the purpose of door-to-door sales and solicitation.
Move for passage.
I'll second that.
Roll call.
Chrisman,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Call,
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes. Amended ordinance number 5, 2025, second reading.
I move we put amended ordinance 2025 on second reading.
I'll second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Chrisman,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Call,
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Amended ordinance number 5-2025, an ordinance establishing a vacant and or abandoned buildings.
Next is amended ordinance number 6, 2025, second reading.
I move we put amended ordinance 6, 2025 on second reading.
I'll second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Chrisman,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Call,
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Amended ordinance number 6-2025, ordinance amending ordinance number ordinance number 6-93, downtown design review standard and design criteria.
Ordinance number 7, 2025, second reading.
I'll move that we place ordinance number 7, 2025 on second reading.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Chrisman,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Call,
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Ordinance number 7-2025, an ordinance amending codified ordinance section 156.077, substitution.
Ordinance number 8, 2025, second reading.
I move we place ordinance number 8, 2025 on second reading.
I'll second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Chrisman,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Call,
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Ordinance number 8-2025, an ordinance expressing the city's intent to negotiate jointly with other cities in the region on a one-price schedule under which electric light services shall be furnished to the residents of the city for the purpose of street lighting.
Resolution number 8, R18, 2025, second reading.
I'll move that we place resolution number R18, 2025 on second reading.
I'll second that.
Discussion. Roll call.
Chrisman,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Call,
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Resolution number R18-2025, a resolution approving the contract with the Fraternal Order of Police, Ohio Labor Council Incorporated for dispatcher, secretary dispatcher, section 2024 MED-12-1425.
I'll move for adoption.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Chrisman,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Call,
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes. Resolution number R19, 2025, second reading.
I'll move that we place resolution number R19, 2025 on second reading.
Go ahead, Caleb.
All right, I'll second that.
Caleb,
Got it. Thank you.
okay. Discussion. Roll call.
Chrisman,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Call,
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Resolution number R19-2025, a resolution approving the contract with the Fraternal Order of Police, Ohio Labor Council Incorporated for patrol officers, -2024-MED-12-1427.
I'll move for adoption.
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Chrisman,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Call,
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes. Resolution number R20, 2025,
Schultz,
Yeah.
Blair,
Yes.
Call,
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Resolution number R20-2025, resolution approving the contract with the Fraternal Order of Police, Ohio Labor Council Incorporated for sergeants, 2024-MED-12-1426.
Move for adoption.
I'll second that.
Roll call.
Chrisman.
Yes.
Hawk.
Yes.
Johnson. Schultz.
Yes.
Blair.
Yes.
Call.
Yes.
Lynch.
Yeah. Where are we? Resolution number R21-2025, second reading.
I move we place resolution number R21-2025 on second reading.
Second.
I don't know. Any discussion? Roll call.
Chrisman. Hawk.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Blair.
Yes.
Call.
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Resolution number R21-2025, a resolution authorizing the city manager and/or the service director of the City of Washington Courthouse to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement Programs and to execute contracts as required, Market Street Improvements Phase 2.
Move for adoption.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Chrisman.
Yes.
Hawk.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Schultz. Blair.
Yes.
Call.
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes. Now our new legislation, ordinance number 11-2025, first reading.
Move we put ordinance 11-2025 on first reading.
Second.
I think Caleb got it, yes.
Discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I do have a question.
Okay.
On the next to last page, I'm a little concerned about requiring the haulers to offer recycling services to residential and commercial customers. Does that mean they're going to have to supply the receptacles to put the recycled goods in? And if so, that's going to be an issue. We went through that before, several months ago, and it looks like the citizens didn't want it. And this just looks like an additional added burden to the trash hauler. There's a ton of stuff they've got to come up with and meet, and I'm not sure we're ready to go with that recycling thing yet.
You remember, Mr. Denon, about why that got put in?
I think you need to talk with Mark, because the only thing I'm interested in is tarping your load of the insurance requirements, quite honestly.
I just think that the reason I put it in there was to make sure we had all our bases covered, and it basically also promotes waste diversion, practices as part of their service. So for recycling, waste diversion practices that you think could benefit the community. If you don't want it in there, we take it out. It's up to you, it's up to you guys.
I like it.
I don't see a problem, because of the way I read it is waste transported in sealed containers. In other words, you don't have to transport it in sealed containers, but if you do, it should be sealed. That's how I read it. So you have the option of doing it in sealed or unsealed, but if it's in a container, it must be sealed. Now, if it's in a trash bag, it must be tied up, I would say, not open and flashing in the wind.
How are they going to go through the bags and make sure everything's legitimately supposed to be in there? People throw everything in the recycling bins. I know that's going out to the recycling out by the landfill. And I just, who's going to monitor that? They're going to hire people to go through the recycling and see whether or not it's actually recyclable material.
It looks
Section
recycling
six.
out
Here,
Section six,
recycling and waste diversion.
number
It's on
3.
the wrong page.
Oh, back here.
Next to the last page.
Oh, the next one, okay. Okay, you're looking at recycling, all licensed haulers must offer recycling services. Must offer recycling services. Now, that could be a little bit of a problem, I understand that, I see what you mean. Yeah.
If you eliminated number 3, it has very little impact on the function of the ordinance.
Must offer recycling service of residential and commercial customers.
Personally, I love the idea.
Yeah, I like that.
I do think we polled people on that, wasn't something.
No.
Well, I believe we polled them on the idea of us paying for it,
Yeah.
Right, like
Not
raising taxes.
them doing it, yeah,
That's true.
We did.
Yeah.
Or some sort
And
of.
nobody
tax.
wanted to pay for it.
yeah.
Right.
A licensed holder must offer. Are you saying Mark, are you saying they must offer recycling?
They offer it. It doesn't mean somebody has to take it, it just means they must offer it. And
Okay.
they must promote waste diversion practices
Right.
as part of their
Okay.
services. So it's a two-pronged deal.
Okay, so if they offer it, no one takes it up, or it doesn't bother them, they don't have to do it at all.
It doesn't define really what offering means or the nature of the program. I would much prefer that you got rid of it. Yeah, I don't want to be in a situation where it's a larger corporate hauler uses it as an excuse to raise rates.
I got you. So, what do we think? Do away with it completely, that wording?
I'm guessing if they offered it, they would charge.
Oh, yeah.
Can it be altered so that it would be an optional piece if residents wanted to pay it
To make
upfront?
it financially feasible, it's really, the hauler has to have significant participation.
Yeah, you have to have a lot
Yeah.
to make it worth his while.
Like if, let's say a quarter of Waste Management's customers want to do that, they're not gonna be able to do it financially. You're gonna pay so much for that, that'd be ridiculous.
What percentage of people who provide trash service right now, what percentage of those people have recycling as an option?
We're not worried, I think.
Monkey,
Rumpke does.
So if we pass this, is,
Waste Management, there might be some others that might.
gotcha, so Rumpke and Waste Management would be the only two allowed to practice? or-
No, I don't think that's the case, but I think they're the only ones I'm aware of without actually questioning each individual. I don't know what some of these, what is it,
Pro waste.
I don't know what Pro Waste offers.
But then let's just change the one word must. Take must out there and put all licensed haulers, may or can offer recycling services and go with the rest of it. That way, we're giving them options. If you wanna offer it, fine, you're gonna charge them extra. If you don't, you're okay. So just one word, drop the word must and put a different word in there. And I think that would clear up the whole problem.
It's
Do we
fine.
do that?
It's fine.
Yep. I don't know what that word would be, offer, may, like Dale just said, may
Or
offer.
Can offer
or
the option
Can
of,
offer,
yeah.
if you offer, So like that, eliminate the word must. That way we're not telling people you have
Well,
to.
they already can offer it.
They
If
can
they want
offer
to
it.
now without this legislation.
Right, they can offer,
So
yeah.
I just think it's a useless piece of,
Well, I'm thinking for the future. If we need it for the future, somebody comes up, so we need recycling, we have to have recycling, then they've got their
we
option.
can amend it then.
Yeah.
I would the cleanest way is to just get rid of number 3.
Okay, let's do that. Either way, it's fine with me.
Okay. Maybe next time.
So we need to amend it or vote this down and start over, obviously.
Yeah.
I got a quick question. I'm remembering, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm remembering last time when we had a presentation on this, community recycling centers that are going to have to be placed in order to make up for the lack of individual recycling options.
There's what, and I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but the director who does here, and she does Circleville, and I think Pike County.
She
That's-
came and spoke to
What
us,
I,
you're right.
yeah, what I don't want is a bunch of, like having to pay for a bunch of recycling
Throughout
pickup,
the city.
throughout the city and in our neighborhoods.
Right.
'Cause those can get
She
pretty
said
disgusting.
that was, because if I recall, and it's been a minute since she came and talked, but her thought was, we're already kind of at that threshold where the state EPA is trying to dictate that we need to have those receptacles. Now, obviously, we haven't talked to her, and that was probably more than a year ago. So I don't know if that dynamic has changed, but that is what she said.
Well, we can always add those things if they become available, but for now, to move this legislation on, I make a motion that we eliminate number 3. Table it to another
Let's go ahead and make an
meeting.
amendment to amend, and then we'll go ahead and place the amendment on first reading tonight.
Roll call.
I made the amendment.
Okay, we got a second.
Who did we get
We
a
need a
Do we get a
second.
second? No, do we have a second?
Do we have a second? Ted, you did?
Ted second, okay, there we go.
Okay, then, number 3.
Yes, that's number 3.
And
next, so
Jim
that's page
moved.
nine.
And Ted seconded.
Yes.
Okay, Kelly, we're voting on the amendment, so if you vote yes, you're voting for the amendment. Would you do a
Amendment
roll
to
call?
eliminate number 3?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. That's what I
Yeah,
wanted
I'm
to make sure.
sorry, yes.
That's okay.
And roll call for
Yes,
that.
please. Chrisman,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yeah.
Johnson,
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think that's a vote, Galen.
I'm gonna say no for now.
Okay.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Call,
No.
Lynch.
Yes. Okay, so we amended by a vote of 5 to 2, right? Now we have the amended legislation. We've already had a motion for it. Do we need to have another motion?
No, we just need to go ahead. This is the amended ordinance.
Okay.
Roll call for the amended ordinance, Kelly.
Okay, Chrisman,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yeah.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Call,
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes. Okay. Very good.
You got that?
Sorry, I need to read that, I'm sorry. Amended ordinance number 11-2025, an ordinance regulating trash haulers requiring insurance, load covering, and vehicle markings of the city of Washington courthouse.
Okay.
Sorry.
Ordinance number 12, 2025, first reading.
Where we at now?
Ordinance
Number 12.
2025. I'll move we put ordinance 1225 on first reading.
Second.
Okay, discussion? Roll call?
Chrisman,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yeah.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Call,
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Ordinance number 12-2025, an ordinance establishing an inspection fee structure and civil penalties for violations of the Ohio Fire Code in the city of Washington courthouse, Ohio.
Ordinance number 13, 2025, first reading.
I'll move that we place ordinance number 13, 2025 on first reading.
I'll second that.
Discussion? Roll call?
Chrisman,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yeah.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Call,
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Ordinance number 13-2025, an ordinance to establish contractor registration requirements in the city of Washington courthouse.
Good work, Kelly, that was a lot.
someone asked me about the special election this August. What is the cost to the city for putting on that on the ballot in August?
We would anticipate that to be $49,000.
Is that, I mean, would we still, if we were gonna put something on the ballot in November, would it have a cost associated with it as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so there would be a cost no matter whether we put it in
Oh, yeah.
August or November.
Like, you know, you will have a cost for the November election because you got council candidates on it.
Okay,
I mean, you're always going to, yes, anytime you're on the ballot, you're going to pay a fee to the Board of Elections.
okay, okay. Well, very good to know, so, well, that was kind of the question, but I will just say, thank you to everyone who came today. I know that, two of our guests who attend the most, the Kester Keys, are not here, but I'm going to assume that they are watching through the camera, so hello to the Kester Keys. And, yeah, that's it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Mr. Blair.
Unfortunately, there is a delayed camera, so they don't see us
I know.
tonight. Yes, Mr. Chairman. Courtesy of Gail Allen, we have the new newsletter for the downtown. I'm going to pass it down. Everybody take a copy of it.
There you go.
And that's our second newsletter. And for people that's viewing this, if you would like to get a copy, they are being distributed downtown. Also, they have them at the counter at the water department. And the city is working on some other ways to make it more exposure to get out to the greater part of the community. The other thing I had was, I don't know if nobody's mentioned this, but this is National Police Week. And I want to send out a shout to all our police force and also county, our sheriff. I got a grandson that's a deputy sheriff, so I don't want to forget him. And I'd like to read some more detail about this. I think it's a very important week to celebrate. We celebrate a lot of other things that are, in my opinion, are not that worthy. But this says, yes, the week that includes May 15th is National Police Week. This week is a time to honor and remember law enforcement officers who have died in the line of duty. National Police Week is observed annually during the week that includes May 15th, which is also Peace Officers Memorial Day. This week is a time for communities to express their gratitude and support for law enforcement officers and to remember those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. The week often includes events like memorial services, candlelight vigils, and other activities to honor fallen officers and their families. In 1962, President John F. Kennedy signed a proclamation designating May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week in which it falls as National Police Week. National Police Week is a significant event that allows the public to appreciate the dedication and service of law enforcement officers. And from City Council, thank you, police and sheriff and highway patrol. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's all I have.
Thank you. And Mr. Schultz.
Well, you know, that is, thanks, Jim, for that. That's very good. So I want to honor and recognize them also, all police officers, police, fire, and highway patrol, sheriff. That is fantastic. I think Mr. Vernon Stanford just had a thing, he was on TV the other day, honoring police officers, the other day. I saw him on there. I mentioned that to him just the other day when I talked to him. So, but, you know, we've noticed that we have a lot of legislation, we have a lot of things going on in the city run the city and make the good decisions for the city. It is a lot to think about, and there's a lot that goes on with this. And so I think that it's a responsibility that we all have, that we have to make the right decisions for the city and the citizens of the city. So it is a lot of responsibility. And I want to honor everybody on this city, on this council, for doing a good job, and you have for the last several years. We've really brought the city a long way, and we got a long way yet to go over the next few years. So, all of our departments, our police department, our fire department, our service department, I mean, the city could not operate without those departments, and we have to make sure we're funding those departments the correct way. Make sure they got the people they need, they have the equipment they need, they have the equipment they need to do their job to make the city safe and secure. That's why people who live in Washington Courthouse, they feel safe and secure. Wherever they work, Cincinnati, Dayton, Columbus, Cleveland, Indianapolis, all over. But they come back to Washington Courthouse because they love living here, because they feel safe and secure, and they like sending their kids to our schools, to our churches, and hopefully someday, and I think Mr. Lynch referred to this at one time, about them moving back here someday and living here. So we have a lot of responsibility to make sure that happens and keep the city running smoothly. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Mrs. Cole?
Sure. We enjoyed the opening day of the Fayette County Farmers Market. It was a lot of fun. My little girl and I walked up, and that's something we do most Saturdays. And the second that we were walking up, Gwen was going around doing her live feed and sharing events and things. And she said, would you maybe mention to the rest of council if they want to come to the farmers market? And I said, well, sure. But it's a really fun place to be. We got some yummy jams and cinnamon rolls and really not very many vegetables. So maybe we should remedy that this coming Saturday. But it's a good place to be. So that's my little shout out for the farmers market.
Very good, thank you. Mr. Hawk?
Well, this is campaign season for some of us. And one of my proud things to say is the fact that I helped choose Ron Sockman, Joe Denon, and Mark Pitstick, because that puts a star in my cap. They all three do such a good job, and I'm not just saying this facetiously, but I do appreciate it, what you all three do, and Mark mowing yards, that for a lawyer, that, you know,
Well,
that's
he does it
beyond.
personally, but
And Joe and Ron, and the way they've worked with the finances and the nitty gritty of city life, and so I feel like that's a star in our cap, having
Yes,
these
it
three
is.
guys.
you're right.
Also, you mentioned about Police Week. One of the biggest things that I notice is policemen and deputies running around at night alone and making arrests. I think that speaks volumes about how difficult their job is, and the investment that they have in what they do. And so I wish they didn't have to do that, but I think that's just the facts the way they are, and they're willing to do it, and I do appreciate it. And of course, there's a lot of other things they do well, but that really, that's where the rubber meets the road, I think. So that's all I have.
Mr. Hawk? Mr. Chrisman?
I think we've heard all the good stuff now, so I won't get repeated, thank you. Do you want anybody to write a check on the Kester Keys or anything?
Are they on vacation? Or
No, I can check.
they're on vacation? I was gonna say they gotta be on vacation.
I move that we excuse them.
I'll second.
is sending over some supplies to the police, fire, and, people, so.
Good.
To honor
Nice.
them this week, and, I think we've done that the last few years, and they always appreciate it, and we appreciate them, so, good thing to bring up. Okay. I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Chrisman,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Call,
Yes.
Roach.
Yes, we are adjourned at 8:30.